Hi, I'm Ellen with artsyprettyplants.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make a fabric draped cement balloon planter. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button below, that way you'll be notified every time there's a new video out. I'm going to leave a list of the materials in the description below, but you can also go to my website artsyprettyplants.com and get the entire full written tutorial there. Let's get started. The first step is creating the drainage holes, which I forgot to do in the first cut of this video, so here's how to do it. Cut 3 pieces of straw at about 1.5 inches high and glue these to the bottom of the bucket. Space these evenly apart in a triangular shape. Now fill in the top of the straws with the glue so cement doesn't get inside. I cut each piece of fabric at about 7 inches wide by 16 inches high. Now take one piece and drape it over the straws. Next, mark the locations of where the straws are. Take note of which location the straws are at. I marked a B for back, R for right, and L for left. Then mark on the bucket the same locations, since the bucket could easily get turned around. Now twist the marked spots and snip. And then make sure the holes line up. Next, taper the ends of the rest of the fabric pieces to look like this. This will make it easy to avoid accidentally covering the straws. So I've already cut up some of this t-shirt. I'm using t-shirt material. Now I attempted this last year and it actually worked out pretty well. There's a few things that I needed to modify, which I'm going to be showing you here today. But the planter still has held up. I was a little concerned because cotton, I was afraid that it might rot, but it seems to be doing fine. It's gotten a little bit thin in spots where you can start seeing a little bit of the fabric. I probably just needed to do a skim coat over it afterwards, but otherwise it's held its shape perfectly fine. So what we're going to do is get the balloons inflated. And honestly, this is going to be the trickiest part of this, not because it's tricky, but balloons seem to be temperamental. So I have long balloons and a cement covered balloon air pump. And what you're going to want to do, get the balloons blown up. So I'm going longer than what this is going to be attached here. I'm going longer than that just for a minute so that I can get the balloon shaped properly. I'm squeezing from the top gently but firmly so that it gives me a little bit of slack towards the top. Don't tie it off yet. So my plan is to do this. A little shorter than this length is what we're looking for. I want this to be just slightly higher than this, just because I want this to be a little bit taller. That's the only reason I'm doing that. But as I tie this, sometimes it loses air, so I'm letting it go be a little bit longer than exact. That should be good. mean, I feel like this is like today, with what's going on with the virus, like something out of science fiction, right? But thank God we have crafts to keep ourselves busy. Now I'm gonna go ahead and tie these off because these are just gonna get in the way. Just make sure that they're all they're an okay height. When you tie it, try to get it as close to the actual inflated part of the balloon. That'll make these much easier to work with. Okay, I'm back. So, okay, now we're going to use spray adhesive onto the flower pot mold. Following the directions on the can. Well, they're 6 to 8 inches away. Shake well, right? Isn't that what that normally is? Shake well, 6 to 8. Bottle dry 1 to 3 minutes. Okay. I don't want to have spray adhesive all over the workbench, so I'm going to put this on the floor. And I'll be back. Okay, so now we're going to position the balloons onto the flower pot mold. So what I was thinking is that I would leave a little bit of space at the bottom, because when the cloth gets draped over this, I don't want the cloth to go out and flare. I don't necessarily want it to curl under. I want it to just kind of stay straight. The last one I did had flare, which is actually very cool, but for this one I don't think I want to do that. So I'm stopping about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch from the bottom. Enough. Oh, darn it. Wow. I'm really short. I'm short by 2, looks like. If you get to a spot where it's a large gap, but it's not as wide as this and it doesn't look like the balloon will fit, you can keep sort of manipulating these to get them skinnier. Just kind of have to play with it a little bit. But it is doable. You can also get them a little bit wider. Okay. Perfect. So the reason I wanted to do this I'll be able to pick this up and lift it and move it somewhere when it's ready to cure. This way I don't have to stick my fingers under here and try to maneuver it. I can maneuver it with this the board just fine. So these clothes were clean when I put them on only a couple of hours ago. I haven't even touched any cement yet, and I'm covered in it. Okay, so now we're going to mix up the cement. I'm going to mix it in this. It's a little bit wider, deeper than the bucket that I usually use when I'm doing cement crafts. The reason I want it a little bit bigger is just so I can manipulate what's going on in here. So I recommend these gloves. These are very durable, just nitrile gloves, and the reason I recommend them is because they like never tear, and I can rinse and reuse like pretty frequently. So they end up being more economical than any other gloves that I've tried so far. And they're nice and they're thin enough that I can mold things and feel things and get in there when rubber gloves are kind of too thick. Anything thinner will tear. So these are kind of perfect. And I'll leave a link for that in the description. Safety glasses, or safety glasses, and a mask that's rated for silica dust. This stuff is nasty. And really, I usually only wear this when I'm pouring and mixing, or pouring the dry mix, and also when sanding. So I'm mixing this, and it's gonna need to be thin, like quite thin, like regular milkshake thin, because it needs to be liquid enough that we can dunk the fabric in here. And one thing that I forgot to do already, that I should have done before I started mixing this, was wet the fabric first in water. I don't know that that's necessary. It may absorb things better, so I'm going to try to do that quickly. This is a fast setting. This is cement also. It's a rapid set, so it's going to set pretty quickly, and I don't want to mess around with it, so I have to move quickly. I recommend always using cold water, maybe even ice water for most of the cemental projects, because God bless it, I love that it only takes an hour to cure, but sometimes that working time just is too fast. So I am very limited on time. I have another bucket here. Quickly stick this in. Bring it out. There we go. And I forgot the drainage holes. Oh my God, 6 cups of cement. That's about to go bad. Take your cloth and just, my mix is pretty liquidy. It should be about right. I would say ideally you should use fabric that's white. I had a whole bag of t-shirts somewhere, white old t-shirts that were somebody donated to me. I don't know where they are. Make sure it's good and coated. And this is a messy, messy job. Ugh. This is all an experiment to me, by the way. Just make sure it's good and saturated. You know, I am like such a messy person anyway. Like, I like things clean, but when it comes to doing things, I just make such a mess. Okay, so this is actually cured for several days. I didn't need to let it cure for that long, but I wasn't able to get back to this. So it is ready to demold. And the first thing I'm gonna do is, oh, actually the inner piece feels like it might come right out. I thought I might need to pop the balloons first, but I don't. I might not even need to pop the balloons. Great. So if your inner mold doesn't come right out, just go in and pop the balloons. Which is really just more fun, so let's just do that. This is what we're looking like.